Welcome back, everyone. This is Solstice, 401 Solstice 25. Yeah, yeah. So, ever since I started building this, in DeviantArt, I would get comments like, you should join the Fire UK guys, or are you a wizard, or you should be a wizard. You're a wizard, Solstice. Expecto Patronum. But some might argue against it because I have like this potion thing going. But realistically, wizardry isn't limited to just a magic wand and a book of spells and maybe a crystal ball or something. I can be a wizard too. I just also make potions. Hmm. Saying my sensitivity a bit. But yeah, I must say it's kind of pleasing, a little honoring maybe. Is that another good way to put it? Maybe. But yeah, I've also been practicing like some of my like slash give commands skills. Like I actually kind of like picked up on how to give myself a well enchanted stick here, which I believe the enchantment ID is 19 for this knockback 10. Well, knockback in general 19. I had to manually set the level to 10. Hmm. My frame rate is a little poor right now. At least I think it's considerably poorer than usual. Let's see, which of these? Aha. So that's my FPS. Whatever. But yeah, I actually took the time to go learn how to use this. Or at least make it. Which is not something I would normally take the time to do. Like, it's something I would want to do, but it's not something I would, like, care too much to bother about figuring out. I just wanted to figure it out for the sake of it. It wasn't as complicated as I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, whatever. I suppose I can shove this further in my inventory. I like how I still have these. Yeah, it just does not update the newer skin over the old heads. As long as the old heads are like placed around somewhere, I think. Or maybe that might be just for single player. I'm not entirely sure. Hmm. I'll figure that out eventually. If I care enough to, that is. Okay. So this is what I left myself with to get to. I have not touched this since the previous video yet. But I do intend to touch it today. Slash possibly tomorrow. And have it all in a single recording. That way I can like show as much work as I get done and such. Actually, it might just be today if I have enough time. Like, I don't know what's all going on today. Like, people want to do this and that, like IRL. I was like, okay, we can have that going on. So, it all depends on how much time I have to really work on this. But I guess we should get started in some way. Let me just sort of like cut for now until I come up with something to really do to this. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna do a few derp things, and it's probably gonna take a few more minutes of your time. Okay, welcome back. And as you can see, I've been making some important-ish decisions while off camera. I've added a bit of a railing bit here. I wanted to decrease the chances of someone just finding their way outside of what would be the standard of the map, I guess I should call it. Like, it's not foolproof, like, there's still, like, ability to jump up here and then just, like, get all over the place and maybe, like, jump around down there or something. But, for the most part, I don't expect very many people to actually go bother to do that. Like, it's doable, but it's not something I don't think most people would really care to do. Which, in turn, is just alright. I got annoyed with, slime blocks, like I love their color, I really do, and that really added something. But one issue I had was that walking over them would make you slow. It was actually hard to just walk past them and not get caught up in them and like trying to sprint your way through. So I removed them and instead I put glowstone underneath carpet. I did not touch the bottom underside of this area. I have a bit over here, but not over here. I have these scales going on, or this scale going on. I'm debating if there's anything I want to do differently to it, or if I'm just going to take this as the final of it. I'm not entirely sure. It's still in a bit of a decision process. I've tried for some hidden decorative lighting, or at least semi-hidden. Like, clearly you can see them, like, from the side or something. And I decided to use, daylight sensors underneath them. Not underneath them, on top of them. What am I thinking? And to make it a little more, not too boring, not too plain or something, I just sort of right-clicked and a bit of like a on-off pattern, which in turn looks alright. And I have this kind of going on. Like I guess I intend to actually cover a decent amount of this wall, and then I'm going to put some other stuff over this. I'm not sure what though, but there's going to be something over it. Like, I'm not so sure this part's even going to be visible. Like, I'm still thinking up some of the stuff, some of the details, but yeah. This isn't the final of this. I just haven't decided what I'm gonna do with this yet. How I'm gonna really connect to that. Like, I wanted it to look kind of like wings. While off camera, I also, as you've seen, I've thickened this up. I've made it 3 thick, and then 2 thick to inside the outside. So yeah, that's adding a little something to it. I was thinking whatever goes in next for like another layer of like a ring or something, it'll be like coming out a bit more like either like this or like out one more or something. Like something like this or this. I haven't fully decided yet. As I said before many times, I make this up as I go, which is half the fun. The other half, I'm not entirely sure. There's a lot of fun to it, I know that much. But for now, let's apply that like so. Just for future reference, so we don't have to like go back to it. And it'll be like, oh hey, this bit's semi-done already. Let's just continue on from there. And another advantage of like doing it this way is that it just gets crazier and crazier the more you look at it and think about it. And just like place and place and place. really come up with some interesting stuff. I'm not sure yet what I want to put inside this, but I want something different. Okay, so I cut for a second because I sensed a interruption coming up in the force. Anyways, let's continue on. I think I want to add something a little different around here. I want something a little more, with a little more contrast to this, I guess. Now when I look at my palette of blocks, instinctually, the blocks that I want to just go right at the most are like this one, not so much this one because it's a little not as bright as a yellow as this. This is like buttery yellow, which is perfectly fine. It's kind of like a yellow gold, I guess. Perfectly acceptable. And I like this because it also has an odd contrast to purple for some reason. I never really figured out why that was when it came to green and purple. It's like a little bizarre contrast. Like, ideally, yellow and purple are on the opposites sides of the color wheel, so they have like the most contrast of all. Like, yellow feels like bright compared to purple. Bright compared to purple. Which is actually quite awkward. Which is a little odd. And then, red and green are basically have high contrast to one another. Like, let me bring this out a little better, actually. Which is actually why like red and green seem so bright in Christmas time. And then blue and orange. And not just because this orange is friggin' bright. When you stick them together like that, they particularly stand out. Actually, let me see if I can find a better blue. It's a little better. Like, it's more definable as a blue right away. Yeah. Quite the contrast, actually. So that's basically where I stand on this. Like, I kind of want some contrast, but I feel like these two would be almost too typical. Although I haven't used much gold in this build, versus the amount of gold I used here. Which leaves me to believe I might actually need to place more gold. Like, some gold placement might actually do some good. It is a good idea, that's for sure. As for where I should put gold, I haven't been entirely certain. Like, I was thinking maybe like some small decorative stuff, like sort of just going all around and about, sort of like this and this and that. Just like something a little more flowy and has like shapes and patterns or something. But I never really crossed my mind to try it as like a fill-in color. Like, I actually have no idea how that would look. So let me just test that out here. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's acceptable. Ah. Why? How'd I do that twice? How dare I? Let's do this spot. Yeah, that definitely brings more contrast to the look. A little more contrast to the eyes. Past all these more neutral colors, like say the endstone and gray and some of these greens, it really brightens it up actually. In fact, that's actually convinced me a little bit that when I do like a bit of like some more extension-y stuff from the wall, I should probably use more gold. Okay, so I've been trying to plan out this extension, and it's actually turning out a lot bigger than I really intended it to become. That's not too much of an issue. When things go a little more above and beyond your personal expectations as you try to situate them, they usually turn out a lot better than you were planning. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Like, this is probably gonna be pretty interesting when I'm going to actually situate it. I swear, when I compared this and this, I'm starting to think this was actually a great um, placement for the land clearing. It almost troubles me to think that's true. Because I didn't really intend this to be like extremely big, just big enough. Like, I don't really intend this to be like too much more than it absolutely has to be, but I do want it to be a little more above and beyond in terms of design and pattern and idea. So in some way this is a good thing, in another way it can become a bad thing. I'm not sure if I'm too excited, but yeah, as you can see, I've had iron trap doors on here. I figured that would like connect some of these little spots a little better and make it seem more like, it's a little more related to one thing and another. Though I am disappointed I can't just set them on the side of this. I'd probably have to spawn them in that way with set block command, but I'm not sure if it'll ever like update and like be like, nope, I'm gone. Like, I've had things that did that in the past, but yeah. I did not touch anything more to that as of yet. Okay, we are back, and I am going to show you where I think I'm going to leave this video off with for now. I have sort of situated some of this going on. I've made this slightly wider, and I've made a little more space here, as well as included a bit of like an island structure for this. Is my okay, my sensitivity was correct. I do that every now and then for those unfamiliar. Yeah. I've included a bit more island structure for this to be put on top of, basically. More of like a end-based island. I'm going to fill in underneath here at some point, as well as going to fill more of this wool in about. I'm not sure how I would like to do that fully, but I will figure something out. But this is really taking some shape. For this being done by one person, this is really taking shape. I am quite satisfied with how this is really going. I didn't move this back, I actually moved this back. This would have been too much effort to move back anyway. Yeah. So yeah, not much has changed here, but I will have to fix the chicken leads though. I think I'll just sort of kill those those chickens? Oh, is it here? Yes. Hmm. Okay, got some chickens in my inventory. And then we want some leads. And voila. That's basically how I've been doing this. I still like it. I might change this part up a bit at some point. I'm not sure how I'd like to do that. I'll figure it out eventually. But yeah, I'm quite satisfied with how this is going. It's like having an island inside of an island. There's just hardly anything to complain about with that. I figure I'll have a platform like up here, like above this, and you could also like look out there from here and get a good view at this. There'll be a few other places up higher. That's something I would like to situate. These would be like some outdoor bits, which will also serve as like... Actually, I'm not sure if they will serve as entrances. They might just be outdoor bits. And they might have stairs or something going up higher. Like maybe like semi-spiral-ish or something. Like personally, I haven't really made very many spiral staircases in my days, mostly because I never really bothered to really figure it out. I've just been like really more picky about like certain aesthetic, smaller details, like say this or this, and walkways and such, and sort of like little wall decor. This is this is gonna get some work yet. This is not the finished product for the inside of this wall. Believe me, it's not done yet. Yeah. This is slowly taking up the kind of shape I want it to take in order to keep up with this guy here, which is what I'm hoping to do, while also still make it more like aesthetically pleasing as like a temple itself. Yeah, I have a lot of ideas. Ooh, I just realized another good one. Like one of these, but up higher. Uh-huh. It'll be like two platforms. A garden on underneath, like maybe another garden. And that bigger garden will probably have a way in here or into there and go to the upper platforms or something. That might be really, really cool. Yeah. Yeah. I just need to figure out where all that goes in comparison to this first, before I decide that to be an actual thing. And I'll have like all kinds of cool looking supports to it. It'll definitely sprucing things up and make it more architectural instead of just artistic. Architectural. Yeah, speech impediment. Speech impediment does not save the day. Okay. But yeah, I think that's a good place to leave this off for now. For like those curious of how this project is going. Thank you very much for stopping by and watching. I hope this has been bringing some creative build inspiration to some. and I hope to see some interesting works based on what people pick up for me when I do crazy stuff like this. Like, I really want to know what kind of stuff like people pick up on from that. Like, what kinds of inspiration it really brings. Like, if it's design, if it's style, if it's like certain smaller, yeah, effective methods. Like, I really want to know some of that stuff. And it makes me feel good knowing I like somewhat bring out some more of the creativity side in some people. Oh, what the? Oh, that needs fixing. Hmm. Two. Wait, what? Maybe this needs to be here? I'm going to assume that needs to be there. Wait, never mind. This was correct. It's just I had this set one higher than the others are usually. I forgot about that factor. So yeah, I still pay some attention to some of this stuff, even if I just declared it mostly done. If I see like one small detail that doesn't make sense to me, I will sort of touch it up. Yeah, I'm getting a little off topic and making this video stretch more and more. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Wizard Solstice 8 says bye-bye.